Welcome, my fellow connoisseurs of conflict, drama, and the utterly sensational. Today, we are strapping in for a deep dive into the choppy, often turbulent waters of reality television, and specifically, one of its most fascinating and infuriating characters of the moment. We're talking about the world of Below Deck Season 12 a show that promises pristine yachts, exotic locales, and 5-star service, but so often delivers something far more chaotic and, let's be honest, deeply cringe-worthy. And at the center of this season's chaos, like a misplaced anchor in a perfectly calm bay, is deckhand Kyle Stillie Now, if you've been watching this season, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kyle is riding multiple waves right now. He's navigating the usual challenges of life on a super yacht, dealing with the demands of charter guests and the pressures of a demanding captain. But the choppy seas lurking underneath his Scottish swagger, well, he is responsible for those as well. You see, everywhere Kyle turns, problems with a side of EW seem to form. And it's not just the usual reality TV drama, it's something more. It's a feeling, a visceral, gut-level reaction that we've all experienced. But that is rarely so perfectly encapsulated in one person. It's what the kids these days call the Ike. And I have to say it, Kyle Stillie is giving me a solid, undeniable case of the Ike on Below Deck Season 12. The anatomy of the Ike. Before we get into the nitty-gritty details of Kyle's questionable actions, let's take a moment to define this feeling. What is the Ike? It's more than just being annoyed. It's not simply disliking a person. The Ike is that specific, almost physical sensation you get when someone you're watching, or someone you're interacting with, does something so profoundly cringy, so fundamentally unappealing, that your previous opinion of them instantly sours. It's a gut-wrenching realization that the person you thought you knew is actually, well, not it. It's a feeling that makes you want to recoil, to physically pull away from the screen, and shout at your television, "Oh no, 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 what are you doing?" And with Kyle, we've gotten a series of these moments. A veritable parade of Ike-inducing behavior that has formed a clear and troubling pattern. From his drunken encounters, both alleged and seen, to his quips that are either mean-spirited, or, on the flip side, vague and non-committal. I am now side-eyeing this man with a level of intensity usually reserved for a movie villain. I truly hope he can turn things around before the end of this season. Until then, I stand firm in my opinion, which states that Kyle is cringy AF in Below Deck Season 12 So, what exactly has he done to earn this title? It's not just one thing, it's a series of incidents, a trilogy of bad decisions that, when viewed together, paint a picture of a character who is deeply insecure, lacking in integrity, and profoundly unprofessional. Let's begin with a story that perfectly illustrates Kyle's penchant for bending the truth for a moment of validation. The saga of the charter guest named Helen Hoey. Helen appeared on the show as a primary charter guest, a woman who seemed to be having a great time, enjoying the luxurious experience of being waited on hand and foot, but things took a turn toward the scandalous during a beach day. While visiting a nude beach, a scene of carefree liberation, Helen removed her bikini top. Now, this is a show that has a history of nudity and free-spirited guests, so this in and of itself wasn't a huge deal. The situation grew more interesting when Helen, in a seemingly innocent request, asked Kyle to act as her portable flotation device in the water. Kyle, who seems to have been born for such a time as this, willingly obliged her request, not just once, but twice. It seemed like a harmless, if slightly risque, moment of fun between a guest and a crew member. But then, the story takes a dark turn, a turn that reveals a great deal about Kyle's character. After Helen departed and the crew was winding down for the night, Kyle began bragging to his colleagues in a moment of pure, unadulterated ego. He declared that he had CKD Helen in the water. The whole idea, the whole flotation device, she had the idea in her brain, and she knew what she wanted. He then proceeded to brag about this supposed hookup for the rest of the night. This is the first major red flag. Why would you invent a story like this? The most obvious answer is insecurity. He needed to be the cool guy, the one who scored with a charter guest. He was trying to impress his colleagues, to elevate his own status in the crew, but his boast raised alarm bells for his colleagues, who, to their credit, saw the potential for a massive professional catastrophe. They knew that any sexual interaction with a charter guest is a serious, fireable offense on Below Deck They rightly implored him to turn himself into Captain Carry Tither Adge. The stone-faced, no-nonsense boss of the yacht. The confrontation with Captain Carey was a masterclass in shifting narratives. When confronted by his stone-faced boss, Kyle immediately changed his tune. He did not sleep with Helen. He now admitted the story he had been bragging about for hours was, in fact, a complete fabrication. He was caught in a lie that could have cost him his job, but he was let off the hook, at least for the moment. But the story wasn't over. A member of the production crew, in an act of due diligence, called Kyle in for one final confrontation. They needed to get the story straight, off camera, away from the immediate pressure of the crew and the captain. They asked him, one final time, did you sleep with Helen? And instead of sticking to his no, the answer that had just saved his job, Kyle once again turned cheeky. He didn't give a straight answer. Instead, he suggested that the production crew call Helen to learn the truth of this narrative. This moment, more than any other, cemented the Ike factor. It showed a complete lack of respect. It showed a character who was so desperate to save face, so desperate to maintain an image, that he was willing to be disrespectful to the guest he had just served, and to the production team that was trying to protect him. He was playing games with a situation that was, in every sense of the word, serious. And you have to wonder, is Helen okay with Kyle using her name like this on national television, fabricating stories and creating a narrative about her that is, at best, disrespectful and at worst, a form of public harassment? The second major incident in our tale of Kyle's Ike inducing behavior involves a classic below deck trope, the boatman's. This season, Kyle had his sights set on deckhand Solène Favreau Unfortunately for him, Solène has had her eyes and, let's be honest, her mouth on several other yachties now. Kyle has often lamented about her free love showings, but on a particular night out on the town, he decided to take action by one-upping Solène. The crew was out for a night of drinking and dancing, a time when tensions often bubble to the surface. Across the table from him sat his boatman's crush, Solène. Kyle saw her flirting with fellow crew member Jess Theron and grew annoyed. This is where he made his second major mistake. Instead of addressing his feelings, instead of talking to Solène about his frustration, he decided to retaliate. He decided to punish her. Luckily for him, a cute blonde girl named Martine was standing at the bar, in what can only be described as a moment of pure, unadulterated revenge. Kyle and Martine started making out just 6 minutes later. As they kissed, Solène watched, noting that she was not jealous of Martine, but you could see the hurt in her eyes. You could see the flicker of a feeling, a sense of shock and disappointment that Kyle, the person who had been pining for her all season, would stoop to such a petty and public act of revenge. Matters between Kyle and Martine heated up quickly. So, they retreated to a nearby bathroom for privacy, not even locking the door or finding a stall. Kyle and Martine hooked up on the dirty floor of the bathroom, and from what he later told his cast, he did not use a condom for this already dirty, urinal-adorned deed. This is a moment where the Ike factor becomes a tidal wave. The disrespect, the lack of cleanliness, the questionable sexual health choices, it's all a recipe for a cringy disaster. But the story doesn't end there. After the tryst in the bathroom, Kyle returned to the table, and in a final, vicious blow, he delivered his coup de grace. He looked Solène in the eye and told her that Martine was way better than her. Immediately, her face fell. You could see the hurt, the shock, the sheer disappointment, and mine fell with her. Because how necessary was this comment? Kyle, what was the purpose of this incredibly mean-spirited, uncalled-for jab? It was a deliberate attempt to hurt her, to hit her where he knew it would wound her confidence. Back on the yacht, Solène, to her credit, called Kyle out on his gross commentary. But instead of apologizing, instead of showing any remorse, Kyle played aloof. Whatever we had was whatever, he answered. I don't want to know you anymore. It was a cold, cruel dismissal of a person who, whatever you may think of her romantic choices, had at least been his friend. It showed a level of emotional immaturity and a casual cruelty that is truly breathtaking to watch. Kyle needs thicker skin and a tighter mouth, because the one he currently has is now giving me the Ike in a way that is almost impossible to. The final nail in Kyle's Ike coffin came during his appearance on *** Watch What Happens Live ***. The Bravo-sponsored post-show wrap-up that has served as a platform for countless reality television stars. For many, it's a chance for redemption, a moment to clarify their actions, to apologize, and to show a different, more mature side of themselves. But when Kyle recently stopped into the clubhouse, all this man did was fumble. His appearance was, to To put it bluntly, weird. He did clarify that he and Helen never sealed the deal, which was the right thing to do, but then he did the unthinkable. He started to add new, salacious details to the story, details that were never shown on the show, details that had no place in the conversation. He said that Helen had turned him on while she was floating, and she also kept moving his hands toward her breasts. He then followed this up by talking about a potential career in porn, citing his erratic sexual behaviors as the cause. This is a new low. Charter guests, even those who willingly sign on to film for *** below deck ***, deserve a certain level of privacy and respect. Yet, Kyle is consistently breaking this quiet rule on a national level. A national platform. He's not just lying. He's now fabricating salacious details, not just once, but twice, to gain notoriety. And what's more, he's trying to claim that she wanted his hands on her breasts. A completely false and deeply disrespectful claim, and no one on the show is checking him. The lack of accountability is as concerning as the behavior itself. Helen must be a good sport because she has yet to release a statement. Yet, for the sake of all future guests, Kyle either needs to clean up his act or get fired from *** below deck season 12 ***. He has shown a consistent pattern of disrespect, a complete disregard for the professional boundaries that are so vital to the yachting industry, and a level of emotional immaturity that makes him a liability to the crew, the guests, and the show itself. His actions are not just cringe-worthy, they are a sign of a deeper problem. In the end, Kyle Stillie is a cautionary tale. He is a character who started the season with a certain amount of charm, only to systematically dismantle it with every new decision he made. The Ike factor isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a direct response to a pattern of behavior that is rooted in insecurity, a lack of integrity, and a profound disrespect for the people around him. Let's hope he learns from this experience, but for now, he stands alone on a mount of cringy, Ike-filled moments that will define his time on *** below deck season 12. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the stormy seas of reality TV. We'll be back next time with more incredible stories, more jaw-dropping revelations, and a whole lot more gossip. Until then, stay curious, stay scandalous, and keep those eyes and ears peeled for the next big piece of reality TV news. Goodbye for now.